which was about as far from show business as you can get. The only thing show business I did was file Howard Cosell's canceled checks. And all the stars canceled checks. Anyway, but undaunted, we were on the 11th floor, and the radio station, WABC AM radio, which is one of the biggest stations on the East Coast, was on the 6th floor. So I'd go down there and sort of hang out and watch the DJs work. And eventually they said, "Hey kid, what are you doing?" I said, "I'm watching the work. I'd like to get into radio." He said, "All right." Because when you're young, and I was a young, vibrant kid, they said, "All right, we'll take you in. What are you doing right now?" I says, "Oh, I'm in the accounts payable during the day and I go to school at night." They said, "No, we can't hire you until you finish school. So you finish college and come on back." I said, "All right." But I never came back. If I knew then what I know now, but back in those days, you know, I still had stars in my eyes anyway, and I was a very good stage actor. After ABC, I left ABC and worked for a gold investment firm during the day, and I did a couple of plays, and then I decided to quit acting altogether and become a musician. When I was 17, I started playing the guitar, and then picked up the electric bass, and started learning very quickly the electric bass, and I was good at it. So I started playing in bands, and I joined this band that had real good potential for making money. Well, I never wanted to be a rock star. I just wanted to play so people could dance and make a living. That's what my ambition for music was, to just make a living so I didn't have to do anything else and pay my rent. But by this time I was out on my own. I had moved out. I was about 20. And so the band lasted a year and then broke up. And then I was with another guy. We did a two-man act. And he freaked out and that broke up. So pretty much, when I was about, I'm going to sit down for a while. Oh, yeah. When I was about 25, I decided that music was not going to be the thing for me. Because too many bands were just breaking up. It got real frustrating. I had a certain goal to just play. Like this band I was in, I got us an agent who wanted to put us on tour in Canada. And these guys didn't want to leave New York. They had too much going on inside of New York. I said, I have nothing going on inside of New York. This is it. So by age 25, I got fed up with music and said, I'm getting back into acting. So by this time, I had cut my hair down to here. I'd grown my hair down to about here. And I had worked in an overnight camp in a few years prior as a regular counselor. And I taught a little acting. So I called up the overnight camp and I said, I need a job. What do you got? He said, would you like to be the dramatics counselor this summer? Hey, let there be light. Is the light on a timer? That's very interesting. What happened? Testing, 1, 2. Oh. Very strange. All right, we'll deal with it. We'll work with it. Anyway, let's get to the meat of the order. I never went to the camp. I moved to California instead. I went to visit my sister who was living in Santa Monica, California. She had been transferred. She worked for IBM, which stands for I've been moved. They always move around their employees. So she had been moved from New York, she loved New York, to Los Angeles, which she hated, but she left Santa Monica. She liked Santa Monica, so she ended up living in Santa Monica and working for IBM out there. And I went to visit, and I stayed with her, and I found Venice, California. Venice was next door to Santa Monica. And there were all these hippies there playing music on the beach. And I said, this is for me. I don't have to grow up, so I can keep my hair long. This is weird. And I can still keep playing music. And here are a bunch of musicians. I actually joined a band. I was visiting for about 3 weeks in LA, and I joined a band that supposedly was going to do some good things. We played some gigs out on a bar and out on the beach and made a little money. I said, this is I can do this very nicely. So I went back to New York. I had an apartment that I paid $90 a month for, a 2-bedroom apartment. It was great. It was a great apartment. I gave it up to come to California. And I lived on the beach in Venice, and the band I had joined broke up. And I said, oh man. I played with some other cats. We did a couple of weeks here and a couple of weeks there of gigs. And that kind of just fizzled because the guys were lazy. They were all beach people, and all they wanted to do was get on welfare and play on the beach. And here I am with my New York, let's go get her attitude. And so finally, once again, I got fed up with music. And by that time, my hair was down to my knees, I swear. And I was staying at my mom's house because I had run out of money. And I had a bad case of the flu. So she gets me in the bathroom and she says, okay, here's a pair of scissors, now cut. So I cut off my ponytail. I still have it. It's in a braid. It's in my living room. And the next day, my sister and her boyfriend took me to Beverly Hills, and I had my first Beverly Hills haircut and style. My first haircut in 8 years. So I was back with the human race once again. And I didn't know what I was going to do with myself, so I went to a temporary agency, and I got a job for the California Transportation, what does it stand for? Caltrans, California Transportation Association. It was the state of California transportation thing that took care of all the transportation needs. Anyway, I got this mindless job, me and 7 other people, sitting around a table and looking up addresses. That's all we did all day, is look up addresses and plot how people traveled from address to address on a certain day. So that was pretty gnarly work. It's pretty mindless. But I got to talking with a couple of the girls on the job, and about 2-3 days into the job, they started talking about that they were actresses, and they were in a play, and they were looking for an actor who could play the bass guitar. So I said, well, I'm an actor, and I play the bass guitar. You do? Holy cow, this is great. Why don't you come in with us and call the director and audition for this show? His name I've forgotten. But, so I said, well, I didn't know if I wanted to get into acting. I didn't know what I wanted to do, get back into acting. So I said, all right, give me the guy's phone number. And I got his phone number, and I got him on the phone. I said, well, I hear you need an actor who can play the bass for your musical. And he said, yeah. I said, what would you like to do? He said, why don't you come over and entertain me? I said, here we go again. I mean, that was the crazy thing about acting. You get these nutty directors who would be very indirect on what they wanted. Come over and entertain me. All right, I'll come and entertain you.